Hello, everybody. Here is Linnea again. I am in Helsinki and I finally got my cigarette. So, the last video I've been talking about Matti, my boo. And this video is the second video of the three I'm making about the film Knives Out. So, first I'm gonna repeat the introduction to the man I gave last time, at least some of it. This book is all about Matti Volvo Markkanen, the most famous criminal in the Nordics. Bank robber, that is to say, and trained by the KGB as a spy, and also worked for a Parisian terrorist group because of his wife who was murdered. I knew him when he lived in Helsinki towards the end of his life. And I mentioned the dogs, so now I failed to have that in English. But the breed of the dogs at the beginning of the movie in Finnish is called wolf dog. So that's another funny trivia for you. And about the actors in it, of course, there is Daniel Craig, and then there is also Ana de Armas. And Armas in Finnish language, and I think also Estonian, means loved one. So that would be her name in our language. Coincidence? Coinkydink. Coinkydink. Okay, so here's the video. Okay, about the man, I just needed to add something. That, as he says in his interviews, and in real life as well, because he escaped prisons, so he would state that you can escape any prison when you want it. Okay, so that's his greetings for this evening. Okay, so I continue to talk about the characters that I came up with. Richard is named as Rich because he is living off of his wife, the same way Walt is named as Walt Disney. Name by association from my part. Richard sounds like a basic middle-aged prick, and Don Johnson, of course, delivers this so wonderfully. He also represents my dream of having a middle-aged man, so handsome. Donna is another character displaying me as the nerve-weak trouble nest. That's why she spills the drink even though I am not known to waste even a droplet of alcohol. That's, by the way, the reason why Marta drinks her champagne in hiding. Jacob is inspired by the right-wing young seedling of the young seedlings of politicians I have had the pleasure of interacting with in Espoo as well as Helsinki. Walt mentions the passing of the torch because the real heir of his is displayed, of course, in the character of the 30-something criminal mind of Ransom. Joni is, of course, named after Joni Mitchell. You guessed that one, right? She is the hippie rock and roll of it turned influencer, which is why I am so happy about the way she is dressed so divinely. She also, in addition to other ways, stands for me as she has read about a tweet about an article. So delightful use of my study time at University of Helsinki. The baseball, of course, is all American and another representation of the man of the world, so it's not only there for the dogs to bite into. It it doesn't have any of the names on display the same way the old man would never give out his sources or his connections network in full. He went to high school in Austin, if I remember the town correctly. The invisible ink, of course, acts as a naive reference to the spy business. I needed the sleuth to be the odd one out, just like Matti always was. So that's why he needed to just show up uninvited. So that's where that idea came from. The clue board of a house represents his life, so his death needed to be a suicide, even though it genuinely touches upon the air issue as well as my dumping him, making me feel the guilt of having killed him off. He despised the easy trick murder mystery plots, so this one is for him. The shaking on Marta is mine. I do the full body leg shake, and sometimes it gets so bad I do the shoulder as well. The way she moves in the house must be that of a thief and someone of an outsider because of the nature of the relationship with the old man and her guilt about that, of course. Cabrera, of course, a twist on cabaret, but also cavalier. Even the thought, the idea of lying, really makes me vomit. She says that it's something she has had since she was a child, because this is a theater technique as well as having it as a physical thing. So she is just speaking out the theater techniques used here. She needs to prove that the vomiting thing is true, so that's why they made her lie here. That's the technique they used. Weak sauce just came from Texas Pete. I don't think any of these white man sauces like Tabasco have anything on sriracha. Harlan needed to be cleaning house in order for the murder plot to work. That's why I had this idea. This is, of course, the opposite of what went on with Matti in real life. Someone dodged a very important question. He just needed to play the idiot a little bit. Also, a reference to the Dodgers, which just came to my mind for the whole baseball network idea. It had to be an envelope of cash because that's a preferred method in both spy and criminal business. That's all I can say about this turn of events being included in there. The stairs creak at the house I grew up in, so I added that. Linda and Joni seemed like nosy enough characters to do the introduction of the timeline. I just added the katonk to have something happen. The go board is added as a reference to taking action, which is what the old man revered above all else. Walt seemed like a cigar smoker, and we needed someone to look at a clock, so it worked nicely. The dogs just needed to be barking at some point in the night, so that's why I added that, and they have filled the plot in. The chair things, the fact that there were chairs in the hall was inspired by my mother's parents' house. The grandfather was an architect. They also kept pianos in there. Up, 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 I got it, is how he spoke. In Finnish language, though, he refused mostly to speak English with me because I corrected his pronunciation. I needed their big scene. Every story has one. For me and Matti, it was the night we met when we slept together and the day when I cried in front of him about my grandmother, my mother's mother, that is. I needed their big scene to be about them just having a regular banter of a night and her at his feet. The earthquake is of course reference to sex, so I wanted it to be there. And then I came up with the medicine trick being her not changing them, almost killing him, and him taking control of the situation, of her and his own death in a way that allows him to complete his legacy by him working in collaboration with her for one last time. Okay, so here's the video for today, and I'm thanking everyone who is watching my videos. It really means so much to me. And I hope you're having a lovely summer and lovely time, and I hope you keep watching my videos, and remember to subscribe and comment when you have anything to ask or anything to add. So thank you guys. Good night.